All right, Unit 12, Day 1. Well, this whole unit is talking about working with matrices or a matrix, right? Which a matrix is a rectangular array of numbers made up of rows and columns. Okay? The numbers in that matrix are called the elements. So each individual number is an element, and the number of rows and columns make up the dimensions of a matrix. So we can do addition, subtraction, multiplication with matrices. And today we're going to look at addition and subtraction. All right. But first, identifying dimensions and matrix elements. So dimensions are you count the number of rows by the number of columns. Okay. So like for matrix A, we look, there are 2 rows. So row 1, row 2, and then there are 3 columns. So column 1, column 2, column 3. So column 1, column 2, column 3, right? So the way that we write our dimensions is its number of rows by number of columns. So we would say since there are 2 rows, 3 columns, this is a 2 by 3 matrix, okay? If we look at matrix B, there's 1, 2, 3 rows. So row 1, row 2, row 3, and then 1, 2, 3 columns. So this matrix would be a 3 by 3 matrix, okay? So that's what we're working with there. And then matrix elements are identified by their row and column position. So like element A21, this means that in matrix A, we're looking at row 2, column 1. So if we go to, like in matrix, so you can kind of see this a little bit. If we go to, in matrix A, row 2, so row 2 would be this guy, and then column 1, first column would be that, so right there, right? A13 would be row 1, column 3. So row 1, column 3 would be 2, okay? So that's how we're going to identify matrix elements, all right? Now, for these guys, it says identify the dimensions of each matrix. So in this one, we've got 1, 2, 3 rows by 1, 2, 3 columns. So this is a 3 by 3 matrix, okay? And 2, matrix B, we've got 1, 2, 3 rows and 1, 2 columns. So this is a 3 by 2 matrix, okay? Same deal here, right? 1, 2, 3 rows, 1, 2, 3 columns. So this is 3 by 3, okay? In D, we got 1, 2 rows, 1, 2, 3 columns. So 2 by 3, okay? So that's how we're identifying that. And then to identify matrix elements, okay? So again, this means we're in row 2, column 2 of matrix A. So row 2, column 2 would be 6, okay? For 6, C32 would mean row 3, column 2, so -3, right? Number 7, D23 would mean row 2, column 3, right? And B12 would be row 1, column 2, so 4, okay? So that's identifying dimensions and elements in that matrix, all right? Now for adding and subtracting matrices, okay? To add or subtract, you just add or subtract the corresponding matrix elements, okay? Now, in order to add or subtract matrices, they must have the same dimensions. Okay? So they have to be the same dimensions in order to add. Now, we're going to do this in a calculator, but you can do this by hand, right? Because it says just add corresponding matrix elements. So corresponding matrix elements would be 5 and -3 in that same spot, right? So this we'd go 5 plus -3 would give us 2, right? And then 7 plus 6 would give us 13, okay? -3 plus 0 would give us -3, right? And then 4 plus -2 would give us 2, right? So you just add those corresponding spots or subtract, okay? So what we're going to do, though, is we're going to do this in the calculator, okay? So we're going to do all of this stuff in this unit in the graphing calculator. So what we're going to do is I'm going to attempt to show you on here, but we're going to type all these matrices into the calculator. So if we look at a graphing calculator, right, yours should look kind of like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to push this second button, and then that X to the -1 button over here on the left, you see that matrix? We're going to push that, and it's going to bring up this menu. So what we're going to do is we're going to arrow over until we get to edit so that we can edit these matrices, okay? So in matrix A, we're going to type in what our matrix A was. So let's look at that. Matrix A is a 3 by 3. So we've got 5, 4, 5, 3, 6, 6, 2, 7, 7. So got to type in the dimensions. So 3, enter 3, and we said 5, 4, 5. Okay, so you got to hit enter after each input, each number. So 3, 6, 6, 2, 7, 7. 3, 6, 6, 2, 7, 7. Okay, so we got that put in. Now we're going to put the rest of them in. All right, so if we go to second matrix and then again over to edit, and we want to type in matrix B. Matrix B is a 3 by 2. So 3 by 2, and we're going 1, 4, 3, 0, 2, 1. 1. Why does it keep giving me negative? 1, 4, 3, 3, 0, and then what was it? 2, 1. 2, 1. Okay, and then we're going to type in the other ones here. So second matrix, over to edit, and then we're going to edit C, and then matrix C, 3 by 3, 1, 2, 1, 5, 1, 2. So 3 by 3, 1, 2, 1, 5, 1, 2, and then 0, -3, -1. 0, -3, -1. And again, hitting enter after each number to get it on there, and then we'll put in this last one, matrix D, over to edit, down to D. Matrix D is a 3 by 2. 3 by 2. And this one, 2, 3, 1, -2, 0, 5. 2, 3, 1, -2, 0, 5. And that's supposed to be +2. 2, 3, 1, -2, 0, 5. All right, perfect. So now we've got all of these put in. So we're going to hit second and then mode up here to quit out of there. Second, quit. Okay. So now we can actually do the math with these matrices. Okay. So first one says A plus C. So right, we said this one was 3 by 3. This one is 3 by 2, 3 by 3, and then 3 by 2. okay? So again, in order to add these or subtract them, they have to be the same dimension. So if we look at A plus C, that would be 3 by 3 plus 3 by 3, which is good. We can add those, okay? So in your calculator, go back to this guy. We're going to go second, and then back to that matrix menu, and we're going to select matrix A, second matrix A, and then plus second matrix down to C, right? And then it's going to spit this out right here. So we've got 6, 6, 6, 8, 7, 8, 2, 4, 6. So our answer here would be 6, 6, 6, and then 8. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So we've got 6, and then it was 8, 7, 8, and then 2, 4, 6 for that, okay? So we got that. Now, same thing, we can go D minus B. So D was 3 by 2, and B is also 3 by 2. So we can subtract those because they're the same dimension. So if back in our calculator, we go second matrix D minus second matrix B. Enter. There we go. Right? 1, negative 1, negative 2, negative 2, negative 2, 4. So 1, negative 1, 2, negative 2, negative 2, 4 is what we had there. Okay? And then D plus A, so D was 3 by 2, plus A is 3 by 3. So those dimensions are not the same, so we can't add those. So it says if you cannot add or subtract, right, D, N, E, 4 does not exist, okay, because we're not allowed to add those together, all right? And then for this last part here, scalar multiplication, right, this is just multiplying a matrix by a number, okay? So like if we're going to take 2 times this matrix, that just means we're basically distributing this 2. So we're taking 2 times 4 to get 8, 2 times 3 to get 6, 2 times negative 1, and 2 times 6, right? Just distributing that. So these are the same matrices that were up top, so we don't have to actually input any new ones, which is nice, but we can do the same thing. So if we want to do 2C, then we go in and we just say 2, second matrix C, and we get this, right? There's our answer. So we go 2 times C would be 2, 4, 2, 10, 2, 4, 0, negative 6, negative 2, right? So we got that. And then same thing for 13, 4B plus 2D. We can do the same thing, right? So 4, second matrix B plus 2, second matrix D. There's a decimal point here I gotta get rid of. We get that. So we get 8, 22, 14, negative 4, 8, 14. So 8, 22, 14, 14, negative 4, 8, 14. Right, so we got that. And then last one, we can go 2A minus C. So 2, second matrix A minus second matrix C. Boom. There we go. 9, 6, 9. And then we've got 1, 11, 10. And 4, 17, 15. matrices there, okay? So with this, all of this stuff can be done in the calculator, right? Which is how we're kind of expecting you to do it. So try this stuff out. If you have any questions with calculator stuff, please let us know. But the rest of it should be pretty straightforward, all right? But try out that homework. Let us know if you have any questions.